Welcome on into the Josh Reese Show. I'm your host, Josh Reese, and today we're going to be talking about the Houston Astros trade deadline. Did they win it? Did they lose it? Did they meh it? We'll get into it. But before we get into that, please follow my friends over at Countryside Massage here in Conroe, Texas. They're supporters of the Josh Reese Show, and I am supporters of theirs. Click the description box, and in there I have a link to their Facebook page. Just give them a like on Facebook. I would appreciate it, and so would they. But let's get on into it, guys. Did the Astros win or lose this trade deadline? The only deal of note that they made today was picking up Francisco Liriano from the Toronto Blue Jays in turn for Teoscar Hernandez and Norichika Aoki. Both those guys are heading to the Blue Jays, and the Astros will get Liriano, who is going to come in, and they have yet to really explain exactly what they're going to do, but it seems like he is going to be pretty much a left-handed option out of the bullpen. And when you talk about the needs that the Astros needed going into the trade deadline, they needed relief pitching, and a subset of that relief pitching was they needed to improve on Tony Sipp. And with the addition of Francisco Liriano, I think the Astros have done that with picking him up from the Blue Jays. But what has frustrated people today is seeing all the other moves that the Dodgers, the Yankees, every other contender out there has made, and the Astros have did not make any of those blockbuster game-changing moves. Sonny Gray went to the New York Yankees, and Yu Darvish went to the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Astros stood pat. So people are freaking out that the Astros have somehow lost the trade deadline, which there is no winners and losers in the trade deadline to begin with. But by losing the trade deadline, this now means that the Astros are doomed, and they're not even going to make the playoffs. They're going to lose the playoffs, or they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. First of all, just because the Dodgers or the Yankees got Sonny Gray or Yu Darvish, it does not mean that those guys are now locked into the World Series as the AL representative and the NL representative. It doesn't mean that at all. And to say that the Astros needed to make a groundbreaking trade move for a starting pitcher or an ace reliever is really kind of short-sighted thinking. A move like that is not going to make the Astros a straight contender. They're a contender already without those players, and having those players on the team would surely make them better, but it's still a crapshoot when you get into the playoffs anyways. Not all the time do the best team win in the playoffs. I remember a couple years ago when the Astros played the Kansas City Royals. A lot of people at that time thought that the Astros were the better team, and yet they lost. The Royals ended up going on to win the World Series. It's just a very, very minor comparison, but just because you made a trade and a move does not make you a contender, does not give you World Series aspirations. The Astros had that before then. Remember Randy Johnson in 1998? The Astros traded everyone they could to bring in Randy Johnson. And then, oh my God, we're going to make the World Series. We're going to win it. Finally, Houston is going to be able to taste that sweet, sweet championship. Yet the Astros lost in the first round. Wild card, I believe. So, just because the Astros made a move, Lat did not make a move, does not make a minor move. They did make a move for Francisco Liriano. But just because they did not make a move and bring in a wow name, a sizzler, does not mean that the Astros are therefore going to be, this season is all for nothing. The Astros are a very, very, very good offensive team, and I think a lot of people are seeing the team that the Astros have right now and looking like, as we're talking, the Astros have placed Lance McCullers on the DL and people are freaking out. But you just have to think of it in terms of this. The Astros have this massive lead right now. They're able to kind of coast. And sure, that is a little bit disconcerting right now, but once you get closer once you get closer to September, the Astros are going to start kicking it back into the gear once they start getting healthy again and offensively. Carlos Correa should be back by then. George Springer, of course, should be back in about a week or so, and he should be well into rounded form once September hits. and hopefully Lance McCullers will be back as well. The Astros are counting on all these guys to be healthy, and I think that we should all stand with them in that if they are not concerned with any of these health problems, no one else should be concerned. The Astros did not make a panic move once Carlos Correa went down and traded the farm system for another bat. They did not make a panic move when Dallas Keuchel went down earlier in the season. They're waiting it out. He's going to be fine. They're not going to make a panic move when Lance McCullers down. They'll be fine. And you have to remember, the Astros kind of did get a trade, a big name player just recently in Colin McHugh back, and he is pitching pretty well since his return. So I mean, that's kind of like a free trade the Astros got. They did not count on him for the first part of the season, and they built this massive lead without him. Now they're getting him back, and he is pitching pretty well since his return. They're counting on Dallas Keuchel to start pitching well. Lance McCullers should eventually return and start pitching well. They've got 3 pitchers that could be very good starters once the Astros hit the World Series, hit the playoffs. And then once you hit the playoffs, you've got Mike Fiers, who's been pitching fantastic. You got him in the bullpen. You've got Brad Peacock, who's been amazing. You've got him in the bullpen. The Astros have so much going for them this year that trading their farm system for one of these big-name pitchers was not something that they wanted to do. Jeff Luhnow, in his comments today, mentioned that the team did have a lot of deals that were nearly complete. They just weren't able to finish them out. And one of the deals that he didn't mention, but every team apparently did ask on Kyle Tucker. And Kyle Tucker is a big part of their plans. And while the Astros seemed like they could have traded Kyle Tucker for the right deal, they were not just going to ship him off for Yu Darvish, or they were not going to ship him off for a big package for Sonny Gray. If we remember what happened in the Carlos Gomez deal a couple years ago, the Astros traded like 5 people for Carlos Gomez and Mike Fiers, and Gomez ended up being a joke half a season into it. So don't freak out that the Astros did not grab a big line front name starter. I said that completely backwards. Don't freak out that the Astros did not grab a front line big name starter. They will be just fine, and just because they missed out on one of those guys does not mean that they are going to now not make it to the World Series. It was a chance that they could or could not, with or without one of these pitchers. So why risk trading some of these great big-name prospects that the Astros have in their farm system already, developing, that could be a part of this decade-long run that the Astros are trying to put together. This team is built to be around for a very, very long time. This is not a win-now situation. The Astros are going to be good for a very, very long time, and these prospects that they could have dealt on the trade deadline could be a part to help the Astros get to the World Series. And there's no reason to ship them off for players that are not studs in return. Sonny Gray, a good pitcher, but he has not been a stud this season. Yu Darvish, a good pitcher, not a stud. Justin Verlander, good pitcher, not a stud. And plus he cost a ton of money. Unless the Tigers were tossing in a lot of money, I did not see the Astros making that deal. But that's pretty much all I got. I appreciate you guys for giving this a watch. If you enjoyed this video, even if you didn't enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Also, if this is your first time viewing my YouTube channel, please give it a subscribe. I would appreciate that. Also, if you haven't yet, please follow my friends over at Countryside Massage. They're linked in the the description section below. 2 more things. Also, if you're your first time viewing my YouTube channel and you've never seen my happy smiley face before, please follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joshua. And then lastly, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the Astros. Did this trade deadline influence how you feel about the team going down the rest of the stretch? Do you feel that this is a blown opportunity for the Astros? I'd love to debate with you on the YouTube comment section. So please let me know your thoughts on the Astros in this trade deadline. Let me know. I appreciate it. I will catch you guys on our next video. Thank you, and until next time, have a great day.